Hi, my name is Mario Mills, known as RioDon, and I'm from Jamaica, and I'm a drifter. I'm from Kingston, and I have a love for cars. And where it all started was when I bought a Nissan S13. This car, I loved it because it's one of the cars that people all drift with from Japan. And it was one of my favorite cars to have, and I owned one at the time. I decided to see where my skill was at, and I decided to enter into an event that Team Streets put on a few times for the year out of Palisados. I enjoyed that event, but it really showed me a lot in terms of the skill where I needed to be. So I was trying to decide if I was to build a car or to sell it and buy another setup. So with all of that, I got a good offer for that Sylvia. I didn't have it for long, but I sold it. And I decided to say that let me get into this thing a little more serious. So I found a DX actually had a SR20 with a welded diff and a handbrake that will definitely get me competitive. So, you know, I've been practicing with it here and there and trying to understand the game. And I'm not going to lie, that was where the bug bite me. And it really showed me what it really takes for when I watch the guys on course with trying to do a figure 8, a 90-degree turn. I was wondering how did they do all of that? Realized the handbrake was key, those tricks that up their sleeves. So with all of that, with the DX now, I went to a few events and I realized that I wanted a better setup. One that I wanted to build from scratch. And I went and I did some homework. I found out that the BMW E30 was the car to get into this thing. So when I found that car was immaculate. Immaculate meaning that you can put any engine in that car and you can build it any way you want it to be. Into high-speed drift, into even a small dexterity course. When I bought that car was, well, I should say, needed some little TLC. And you know, Mario Mills always put in his little tender loving care into his cars. So when I bought it, I got to work. First, I put in the handbrake, tried to prepare for Team Streets a few nights before the event. And entering that event with the engine that was in there, which was a BMW engine, did the event, but the engine never lasts. So I was saying, wow, what am I gonna do? And I decided to do an engine swap. And as most people know who are watching right now, one of the greatest swaps is the JZ swap from out of a Supra or a Aristo or maybe a Chaser or even a Mark II. So that was where I started to learn a lot of things, lot of things about not just how an engine run, about troubleshooting, about even wiring that I never like, getting into electrical things, troubleshooting and how to start the car from scratch. And it taught me a lot and I enjoyed it. And then from there, I got real serious with it, but sadly enough, it was short-lived. That two-door I got, I'm not going to lie, I had a little accident with that car. It did throw me off. I was wondering if I was ever going to get back into the sport again. Before the accident, there was a lot of little bugs that I was trying to fix, and I got some help and I really appreciated the help. And after fixing all of that, I said it was no time to really become competitive. I got a little ahead of myself one night and the car got away from the boy. And I saved myself and I saved the engine, but the chassis couldn't come back. So I wanted to give up the sport because I was kind of wondering why me, why at this time when everything is good and fixing the car. It really had a passion for it and still do. And that's the why here today I transition into the 4-door E30, where a lot of people didn't know because it was the same color. It was the 2 doors black and the 4 doors black. So I wanted to try and trick the crowd and also go under the radar. Most of my friends were even wondering where I was at one point, because most times people call me, events coming up, I tell them that I'm busy at work, which I was, but it was more nights upon nights, leaving work, going to the car to try and fit up, swap over from the 2-door what I could salvage, like the front end, the back end. Thank God the engine was good, but I had to buy things like intercooler and radiator because all of that got messed up, and even rims too, and tires. So from there, I was saying to myself, what kind of person I want to be? Why am I getting into this sport so much? And why I want to be knowledgeable about all of this? Because I've had bad experiences. Down to the engine and even building the car itself. You know, you meet people, you meet good people, you meet bad people, and you learn a lot from it. And from there, from today, I've seen a lot of things where, again, a lot of respect for a lot of things. And building the car from scratch, from the 2-door to the 4-door, I really appreciate what a lot of people do on their cars to get it where it is today. Getting into the sport when Slippery When Wet just started, that car, when it came, you know, a lot of people was wondering where this car came from. And I'm the only person in town, in Kingston here, that has this E30 with this JZ build. So most people thought it was from Mandeville or thought it was from St. Elizabeth, and it was a thing everybody wanted to know, this car. And so the car was reliable to the point where I can just hop in, drive up the road and test it right before events, even a week before event, and boom, I'm ready again. So the thing about drifting is not just trying to remember the course, it is how you dance around the course, how fluent you can be, how you can connect each corner to the next. It's all about when you pull the handbrake, when you apply the gas, and all those little things. And what inspired me was, even now, up to today's date, is this drifter from Ireland named James Dean, one of my favorite drifters. Watching him, along with watching everybody else around the world, I want to be like one of those guys where I can be that competitive. So when we talk about all of these drifters down here, I'm not going to dispute anybody and thing, but I want to be just as competitive as these guys here in Jamaica, as to why I put all my energy to try and be up there with them. And just a tip for everybody, just always enjoy what you do. I know that I enjoy what I do, as to why I put out so much energy in building this car. I love this car, love this 4-door E30 with the JZ build. But a lot of little things been going on, and you know, you guys will see it yet to come. And I have a lot that I want to share with you guys, and I have some things that I want to reveal to you guys. So I sold the car. This car was very reliable. It's to the point where I can just turn key, start up, go up the road, come back, and ready for the event. And it taught me a lot. So having my little notebook with all my notes for my wiring and my troubleshooting, I'm experienced to the point where anything happened to that car, I know what is going on with it. And that has really enhanced me to, even if I'm to get another car, I know exactly what to do, how to think, and the time would be much shorter to even build the next car. So with how this car perform, it's a monster. Like, just changing from first to second gear, the car just broke sideways, and you have to wonder if your life in front of your eyes kind of thing. I mean, even going to events now, I remember, as usual, you know, you're qualifying, you have your practice run, then you have your qualifying, and then if you qualify, you compete. I can't forget one of that event when I went to, I think it was Falmouth for Slippery When Wet, and that car was ready, and I think I was 4th place in the whole point standings. And if I was to win that event, or at least come 2nd, I would be on podium for the whole season. Getting into practice and also getting into qualifying, I missed a turn, and I did the course so well, so well, that I was so excited. I jumped out the car and I said, yes. I said to my friends, I said to them, say, yeah man, we'll make it. And some people were saying that I got red flag, and I'm not going to lie, I was so livid. So from there on, I said, no man, we have to change up a style of training now in terms of mindset, and how we attack the course, try to remember certain things even under pressure, because at the same time I am driving to the event, I am also competing at the event, and also troubleshooting with any little problems and the support that I have. Going to just even practicing alone, we have to imitate like we're competing, because we have to set up cooling down the car, we have to set up in terms of like mental stress that we'll be under. Also just trying to memorize a course. The car performed very well. I'm not going to lie, I always enjoy it, especially when I join the handbrake and the car actually move, because I've had some issues where trying to figure out, and Dane is one of them that really helped me. I can't forget that. Always will help me for trying and bleed out the system, try and go test right after. And then when we see it lock up, we all get excited for now, say, yeah man, the car run, and I reach to a point now where I have some decisions to make. And the opportunity came up that I could not give up, right? So I sold the car, and by selling that car, yeah, maybe back to square one, but at a good point where something under this I want to reveal to you guys, and I hope you guys will stick to my journey and enjoy what I have to show you guys. And I want you guys to stay tuned. Remember to subscribe and like and share with everybody, and make sure say a RioDon I go root for when competition I go start in May.